Hello there, my friends. Today I'm sharing with you my easy pot roast slow cooker recipe, which is one of my family's favorite Sunday meals. So let's get cooking. So first of all, we are going to need our beef. This is a chuck roast. And you can see how nicely marbled is there with the fat and the lean meat. Yum, yum, yum. All right, so let's go into what's all gonna accompany this yummy piece of meat. So we are going to be using a bag of baby carrots, a couple stalks of celery, an onion, and some garlic cloves. I'm also going to be using one of these Goya beef bouillon packets. Some pepper, in this case I'm using veggie pepper. I'll be using a couple of tablespoons of cornstarch. I'll be using some adobo to season my meat. About 1 teaspoon of rosemary, 1 teaspoon of thyme, some garlic powder, a little bit of salt, about 2 tablespoons of the Worcestershire sauce. And this right here is key, the ketchup. Yes, ketchup is essential in here. We're gonna be using about maybe 2 tablespoons of the ketchup and 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. So before we do, and some butter. We're gonna need some butter to brown our meat with. So before we do anything, we have to add a little bit of seasoning to our meat to get it ready for browning. So I'm first gonna add some veggie pepper to it on the top like this, and then I don't want to get my hands too yucky. I'm gonna turn it around, put some pepper on this side. Then I'm gonna use my adobo, and my adobo I'm gonna sprinkle it all around the meat. Then I'm gonna add some garlic powder around it, all the sides. And I'm gonna add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce around the meat. Also, I forgot to mention that we are going to be using a slow cooker. I'm gonna be using my crock pot because that's what I typically make as a Sunday meal, is a slow cooker meal. Then I'm adding my butter onto the pan that I have on the stove, and I have my heat at about a medium. You can choose to use oil instead of the butter. I have my meat onto the side because this is how I'm going to brown my meat and just seal all those delicious flavors. Each side usually takes about 3 to 4 minutes. So what I'm going to do is, while the sides are being browned, I'm going to multitask here and go chop up all my veggies. All right, now that I am done searing all the sides, I'm gonna go ahead and put my meat onto the side. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on low, and I'm gonna make a little broth here. So I have this little mug of water, and I'm gonna take this beef bouillon, and I'm gonna add it into the water. I'm now gonna go ahead and add my garlic cloves in there. I'm going to also add my tablespoon of brown sugar, my teaspoon of rosemary, teaspoon of thyme. I like to add parsley too, but since I don't have parsley, I'm gonna add Italian seasoning that has parsley in it. So I'm gonna put, and then my ketchup. I love ketchup in pot roast. I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of it. You know, pot roast is one of those things that, just like in Puerto Rican cooking, everybody has their own way of making it. And as you start cooking it and making it, you adjust and you add and you make it your own. And this is just how I've made my own. Now it's time to place our meat inside our slow cooker along with our veggies, and I'm going to go ahead and move the veggies around so they are also on the sides of the roast. I like to have a couple in the bottom, and then I just move it around. And then after I'm done just putting my roast in there, I'm going to go ahead and take that broth that I made on top of the stove, and I'm going to pour it over the roast and the veggies. And this is just so delicious. It gives it such a wonderful flavor. And then after it's done, you can adjust as you'd like. I personally always salt on the lesser side, and then after it's done, I can adjust as needed. And then I'm simply going to cover it up and place it on low for about 6 to 8 hours. After 6 hours of cooking, look how delicious this roast just looks. I absolutely love it. Now, I personally love to make my very own gravy by taking the juices of the roast and place it in a saucepan on the stove, and I thicken it up with a little slurry that I like to make with 2 to 3 tablespoons of cornstarch and about a 1/4 cup of water. And I just let it simmer on the stove for a little bit until it thickens to the consistency I like. Now we are ready to enjoy this delicious meal, and it's your turn to give it a try. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.